So I drove up to the Highlands in North Carolina today.
Love the Highlands.
Yeah.
Why are you only making eye contact with Bendel?
Well, because you have something weird going on with your eye. I think it's a start of a sty.
I don't think so.
I think it might be.
That's slander.
No, I think it's either pink eye or some kind of sty. Either way, with COVID, pink eye, I'm just going to keep my 6 feet.
Okay.
So I'm driving to the Highlands, and we'll talk about why I drive to the Highlands another time. But on my way back, I get a ticket. I got a speeding ticket.
Really?
Yeah.
In Clayton?
No, it was like just north of, I don't know, between here and there, like North Georgia. But the issue is that it's that getting pulled over with younger children in the car is an interesting experience, because like as they go through the emotions of being pulled over. So like one, there's immediate fear that hits the little kids, right? So at my daughter Abby, she's 11, and Andrew is 14. But when they see a police car coming at us with lights at a high rate of speed, right? There's fear, and suddenly Dad's pulling over, and they start with fear. But then it quickly turns to accusation, right? Like, you are a very bad person. I think the fear says, "Are you going to jail?" And then then it follows up with, "You're a horrible person, Dad. You just got pulled over. Judgment, 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 judgment."
Shouldn't you jump on that, though? Because you're just getting a speeding ticket. So before the cop comes up, that's a great opportunity to be like, "Kids, Daddy's going to jail. Look, I love you. You're going to do fine in life."
Right. Yeah. So Daddy's getting pulled over for going 83, but there are some outstanding warrants.
Okay, so listen, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to pull over.
Yeah.
I'm then going to run.
Yes.
You guys stay here in the car. Do not get out.
Could you imagine how much more fun that would have been? And what a great story they could have told their kids. Like, your grandfather, he got out of the car and ran.
You should jump into the passenger seat and tell your 11-year-old to get in the driver's seat. Trust me, it'll be fine.
Gotta get your license and registration. She's like, ah.
I don't have either of those things. You could always ask the officer to play along with this teaching moment.
Right.
Say, "Officer, I appreciate you pulling me over. I'm sure that I was doing something that caught your attention.
Yep.
I'd like to now model some inappropriate behavior for my children. Show them how not to act in the event that they ever got pulled over."
So I'm going to mouth off a little bit.
Yeah.
You're going to throw me over the head.
Yeah. Right?
So what you should do is they pull you over, you immediately just get out of the car and rush towards the cop car. So you can talk to them before they come to the kids. Cops love
Digging
that.
in your pockets.
Right.
Digging in your pockets.
No, I don't know that I would do that.
Yeah,
I think
it's a little
that
too
sounds
hostile.
like bad.
That's
I think
taking it too far.
Yeah. I have had traffic corrections, that have been volunteered by my local law enforcement from time to time.
Yeah.
I did get asked one time, perhaps closest to my home, whether I had any weapons in the car. I got the full suspicious guy.
Oh, good.
Treatment.
Did you flex and kiss your biceps and say only these guns?
No.
Okay. I immediately put my hands out the window when I get pulled over.
Yeah.
Like I immediately put my hands on the window-sill. Like
to show them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just says, "Hey, I'm not reaching for anything. There's
I
don't want you to be concerned." Yeah.
I thought you're supposed to reach for the glove box.
I think when you wait until it comes to you and then go for the registration. Don't go for the registration as he's sitting in the back of his car. Yeah.
Officer, before we go any further, I know you've asked me to go into my glove box to look for something. I just feel like this is the best time to tell you I recently loaned this car to a friend. I'm told that friend loaned it to another friend.
Yes.
And that guy, I'm told, was fairly sketchy. So I don't know what's going to happen when I open this glove box. I just want to set it up to go.
My 11-year-old was digging around in the glove box earlier. I don't know what she's doing, but it's not on me.
Right.
I actually got pulled over in Disney World.
Whoa, on the property or in Disney World?
You got Disney copped?
On the property. It was the county sheriff. They patrol the roads on property. And we were leaving the park, and apparently my car gets up to 61 miles an hour fairly quickly because I got pulled over 61 in a 35.
Whoa.
And he said,
"Sir, we do not sell fast passes."
Yeah.
I think I would hate nothing worse than being in Disney jail. If you got sentenced to Disney jail and it was like Goofy was the warden.
No, I've seen Disney jail and it is not good.
Is there a Disney jail?
Yes, I've been on that ride, Pirates of the Caribbean, and you ride through and there's a bunch of guys behind bars on the Pirates of the Caribbean, like, and they look like they've had some tough times.
And
Those
dog,
are just dads who sped in the parking lot?
I think they were originally dads.
years ago.
Yeah, and people are like those updated animatronics are incredible. Like,
That's amazing.
that's Jamie Hernan.
I think that's a dad I know.
Yeah,
For years, that dog has been taunting them with those keys.
that's right. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Is there a Disney judge? I would do the whole thing. If I was Disney, you're missing a great opportunity.
But see, there's good judges and bad judges, right? So you could show up and the judge is
Daffy Duck.
Daffy Duck. You're like, I feel pretty good about this situation.
Oh, I'm never getting out of this.
I'm going to need an interpreter.
Guy's such a hothead.
That'd be so great. So I went to the Highlands and I drove all the way back in one day. And you say, why would you do a stupid thing like that?
I don't want to cut into your conversation again, but you got to
we've
make
already
eye
done it
contact
twice.
with me. I know. I just need some eye contact.
Since
I'm-
he's
I'm
already
at- I'm-
interjected, can I interject on top of his interjection?
By all means, please.
Okay, because
No,
it's one
before
other.
you continue.
It's one other.
I see your interject, and I will raise you an interject.
I have one thing to just add. No, go ahead.
For years, I did not have. I don't carry a wallet, right? So I don't ever have a wallet on me. And until recently, I did not have a case on my phone that would carry a card.
Hold on a second. I think your New Jersey is showing. So, did you actually have a roll of bills like
Nope.
that you had with a rubber
I
band
never carry
around it?
cash. So I have no cash. I have no wallet. I have a
thought
debit
you were like
card.
mob style.
And that's it.
Okay.
Right? And I had a little case and I would slide a card behind it. I actually, for years, had a picture of my license on my phone. And one time got stopped. And the guy says, I need license and registration. I said, officer, unfortunately, I don't have any. I have to give you my phone because there's a picture of my license on my phone. And so handed over my phone. And he took it back to his car and came back and gave me a warning. And
Had he taken any selfies or
I was
anything?
going to say, he was also like,
Didn't- no.
and tell Mrs.
Yeah,
Bendel,
yeah.
well done.
yeah. So
Well done.
yeah, no.
I think it's not quite a bribe when you
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
the pictures between the pictures of your license.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was no. But I thought it was pretty. Like it was a great example of how you interact with a law enforcement officer when you feel like nothing bad is going to happen out of this interaction.
Do you have
Like
that
I literally
picture?
don't have a license. I don't have a thing. I'm like, just here, take my phone. There's a picture of my license on my phone.
Yeah.
Surely that'll be sufficient to prove who I am.
Do you have the picture stored between two pictures of brown bags of cash?
No, but that would be amazing. No, just regular old license. Used it for ID when I needed to get, you buy a beer at a restaurant and you got to hand it to the server. Here's my license.
So I drove to the Highland to get a pie.
Highland pie.
Yeah. So to get an apple pie for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah. Because my wife was like, I really like that apple pie that we had when we were in the Highlands. And I'd like you to go get one for Thanksgiving.
They don't deliver?
No, it's the farmer's market in Cashiers, North Carolina. And there she's like, could you go grab one? And I was like, this is not Publix, sweetheart. This is not, the QT. That's a pretty healthy drive.
It's a good drive.
Yeah.
I used to do a gig up there at Sapphire Valley in Cashiers.
Okay.
With the speeding ticket, that became an expensive pie.
It did. And she was like, well, maybe you should have offered a pie to the officer and he would have taken it easy. I said, I think that's a bribe at that point. Yeah, I think if I'd said, officer, I give you this apple pie.
All right,
maybe
so you're going to pay this ticket? You're going to get this ticket reduced? Like, what's the plan?
I'm just going to pay the ticket. I'm not a big.
Never pay the ticket.
Don't pay the ticket.
What are you talking about? Pay the ticket.
Jeez.
No, he even said to me, do you want me to, he said, do you want to check my radar gun? He said, I clocked you at 83. Do you want to come back and challenge the radar gun and we can go ahead and check it?
Did you say, is that a euphemism?
I said, no, I don't care, but I assume that you wouldn't pull me over unless I was really going 83 and I'll pay the ticket.
No.
No, that's not what people do.
Wrong.
Okay. What should I do?
You fight the ticket.
Jeez, transactional lawyers.
Right.
I have to fight the ticket? I have to drive
So there's a
back up there?
building somewhere in that town. It's called the courthouse.
Oh, you guys are,
Lawyers go in them.
Yeah, I'm a lawyer, but I don't do that. We buy and sell companies. We don't do that crap.
Yeah. This isn't like a fine from the SEC or something where you just write a check and pass it on to your stockholders.
Right. No, so you think I should fight it or get a reduction?
You should absolutely fight it.
I will Okay.
We should all go.
Yes. It's going to be an episode.
Hidden
mics.
Let's not go hidden mics because we don't need to all wind up in jail and
that
Disney.
feels like disbarment.
Well, just hidden mic
Even
on,
Disney
on
jail.
Adam.
Not even hidden mic on Adam.
Okay.
We'll just go. We'll bring a court reporter.
Let's get a camera crew.
Why don't we have a court reporter actually just transcribe these episodes?
Oh, that'd be so much easier.
That's so much easier.
That's an innovation in podcast. Just
Podcast
transcripts.
innovation. Have you read this podcast? Oh my God, it's so great to read.
And it would be so good to get someone to read us back when we get controversy about what someone has said.
Could you please?
Can we go back on the record here?
Court reporter, have I interrupted Adam yet this episode?
Objection to form.
The other Jamie said. Yeah, so we got the pies. Pies are back. Pies have been recovered. By the way, they are incredible apple pies up there.
I will represent you in court, wherever it was between here and Highlands, for an apple pie.
One pie. You should get a second pie just for the retainer.
No, it's one pie is a lot. That's a pretty big value to me. I could
right.
I could see where I could give you a pie though. I was going to give you guys pies anyhow.
Two pie it.
I'm going two
Two
pies.
pie it? Are we speaking Latin?
My agent says two pies.
You double pie.
No.
I'm going to deposit one pie in my trust account.
Yeah, he'll give it back.
Oh, I get it back?
You get it back.
Is that a freezer? Or is that an actual trust account?
Who would freeze one of these amazing pies from the Highlands Farmers Market? What
because
kind of monster are you?
No, I mean, you don't want to be driving there every weekend. And Lisa's like, if I'm going now and I'm getting a Christmas, if you need a pie for Christmas. By the way, we are not pie people. We are pie converts as a result of this place.
You know what?
Really?
We don't like pie. Like we went up there for vacation, let's say April.
Okay.
And we picked it up and we're like, we were at this farmer's market. They come out with these pies. We're like, oh, fresh apple pie. We'll take that home. We'll have it as dessert for whatever we're making home. And tried it. We're like, my God, this stuff is incredible. Yeah. So it made a convert of us.
Really?
We're more ice cream people than pie people when it comes to desserts.
Don't you put ice cream on your apple pie?
I mean, you could, but I would say that if I was to think about dessert in my world, I would think ice cream before I would think a cake or a pie.
Adam, here's what I'm going to do for you.
I think you're sullying your pie by putting ice cream on your pie.
Interesting.
You get runny pie.
So my mother used to serve pie with a scoop of ice cream and a slice of cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird, but it's not weird.
No, not weird.
Okay.
All right, here's what I'm going to do for you,
Why
Adam.
cheese though? Is it cheese supposed to make it taste better?
It's the sharpness and the contrast of the flavors.
Okay.
Yeah, take sliced
Opening
pears.
up the palate.
Yeah.
Take sliced pears, shredded cheese on top of it. It'll change your life.
Really?
Yes.
On top of an apple pie?
No, on top of pears. Take sliced pears, shredded cheese on top of it.
What kind of cheese? Cheddar?
You can do like a Colby or cheddar. Or,
Mexican four blend?
yeah, it depends on the four.
Are you talking four blend?
You can go four blend.
Italian four blend?
No.
Okay. Never.
No,
Okay.
of course not. So, Adam, here's what I'm going to do for you.
Yes.
I'm going to make room in my upright freezer for you to store 4 of these pies.
Yep.
Anytime you need 3 or 4 hours of Adam time,
Oh, I like where this is going.
you give me a call.
Yep.
All you got to do is tell your wife, you know what? You need a pie.
Yeah.
I'm going to Highlands.
You know what you need? And I love you, baby. I'm going to get in the car and go. She's like, you don't have to do that. That's crazy.
You just call me, put that thing in the fridge.
We
4 hours
back,
later,
yeah.
it's thawed.
Throw back a couple old style, maybe some Strohs. I don't even know.
Sounds like a Stroh's moment.
Yeah. And then boom, I'll come home with the pie. I like where this is going.
I think that's a terrific plan.
Yeah. Not a bad plan. So anyhow, I got a speeding ticket in front of the kids.
It is a tough moment that first time you get a ticket.
Yeah.
After a while, your kids get experienced.
It's been a minute since I've had a ticket too.
Yeah.
It's probably been 10 years.
So, Sheep, we need to know, should Adam pay the ticket or should Adam fight the ticket?
Well, it seems like you guys are pretty adamant about the whole fighting.
I want to go on the record and saying, if you're listening to this podcast and you believe that he should simply pay the ticket and take his punishment, then we need to hear from you so that you can get corrected appropriately.
Okay.
And instruction on...
That's for suckers?
Clearly from people that have never brushed up against the legal system.
Yeah, that's for suckers. That's like buying annuals rather than perennials at Home Depot. Suckers.
I'm not saying you're going to pay a different fine. Oftentimes people wind up paying the same fine amount, but they're able to mitigate some of the other consequences that are a result of the tickets.
Like a reduction in points or something.
We may try to get the prosecutor to throw in a couple extra elements of punishment that maybe they wouldn't have done otherwise.
So it's increasing the punishment.
Well, I mean,
Punishment shifting.
I'm not sure I like how that system works.
It's important that you understand the severity of your mistake.
right, I mean,
You wouldn't
How
want
am I
it.
going to learn a lesson?
prosecutor
How
says,
are you going to learn a lesson?
we'll dismiss this. No. Hold on a second.
Ooh.
First of all,
Yeah, this guy's flying through your county.
yeah, I think 12 months of inpatient rehab would be appropriate in this scenario.
Dessert rehab.
Dessert rehab.
Dessert rehab.
No pie for a year.
Ooh.
No. You can have pie. You just can't have delicious pie.
Oh, gross.
You must have
I got no time for that.
lower tier pie.
Yeah, so like that Mrs. Smith stuff from the fridge or whatever, the freezer.
Listen, I can neither affirm or deny the quality of Mrs. Smith's pies, since I am not a pie person myself.
You're not a pie person.
I am
So
not a pie
where do you
person.
sit on the dessert spectrum?
I am generally a non-dessert person.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So we're talking not even like a creme brulee or a tiramisu.
So we don't want to just cut out Mrs. Smith's as a possible sponsor. We're just going to go all desserts.
God, you're so skinny. You're so.
No, I just
run
don't-
all
I'm
the
not-
time.
I'm not
I
a
bike all the
dessert
time.
guy.
I don't like dessert.
I'm just saying, I didn't grow up in a dessert household, so we didn't do. We had dinner. Dinner was over. There was no dessert.
I'll just have a little fresh fruit.
No, it just wasn't. It just doesn't. So if we got out to dinner or something, I might have a dessert. But
How about you, Jay?
I'm a dessert guy.
Okay, so and so if I'm looking at a dessert menu, let's call it a standard dessert menu. Like what calls you out? And by standard, I mean like your general good. Let's assume everything's good on the menu.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go something a little sweeter. I'm not like a super chocolate guy, more like a, cheesecake, fruit type thing.
Okay. Are you a pie person?
I'm a pie person.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Pie versus cake?
I'd rather have pie.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I will get you one of these pies, and I think I get the sense that you would appreciate it.
that's why I said that.
Okay.
you wanted the pie.
Yeah. I mean, if I went cake, it was just an easy out to not give me the pie.
Clearly you were missing.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think I'd do creme brulee.
Okay. Tiramisu?
So I had a very bad experience as a child at a awards dinner that involved prime rib and chocolate mousse, and I've never really ever acquired the taste for either back.
Can we go back to the awards dinner as a child?
Yeah. Is this another pageant?
No. This was an awards for other people.
Okay.
I wasn't up for an award.
Why were you at the awards dinner?
It was a chance to get to meet Phil Simms,
Oh.
then of the New York Giants.
Whoa. That's
What
pretty-
kind of child are we talking about? What age?
I was probably, 10, 11, something like that.
What award was Phil Simms up for?
It was the Empire State Sports Awards. So he was receiving some award with Jeff Blatnick, who was at that time an Olympic gold medalist. So it would have been shortly after that.
14, is that what you said?
I don't know, somewhere in there.
So
Did you
it's just a 14-year-old kid who's, eating prime rib, throwing down some chocolate mousse and meeting Phil Simms and an Olympic gold medalist.
Mm-hmm.
Was
So-
it the tiramisu that made you sick, or was it partying
was
with
the
Daryl
mousse.
Strawberry afterwards?
No. I think it was the chocolate. Something about the prime rib and chocolate mousse.
So
And I
are you
wound up-
related to the Kennedys or no?
I was very, 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 very ill,
Oh,
and will never I haven't really done prime rib since.
okay.
But I'm confused. Tiramisu, I think, is where we started this
I know,
conversation.
but it's
We
got
worked
that
at-
textury, moussey,
Kind of a custardy thing.
whatever.
I think the tiramisu
texture.
PR rep would
Disagree.
scoff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
it's
so.
it's kind of a cake.
Well, what's the one that's
It's a creamy cake.
that's like a cinnamonish. It's got the little cinnamon stick in it.
That's what you're
It's-
thinking. Yeah, tiramisu. But it actually it eats like a cake.
But is your quarrel with prime rib or with chocolate mousse?
They were together.
So you don't eat prime rib anymore either? So where are you on
Both
horseradish with prime rib?
Oh God, no.
Me, absolutely.
I'm horseradish with anything.
Yeah, I got
Me and
to
horseradish are.
I like
thick.
raw horseradish. Like,
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
good
I don't
stuff.
like the creamy stuff. I like the raw cut. Yeah.
Is it possible that it was Phil Simms that made you sick?
No.
Not then. There was a couple times Phil Simms has made me sick as a commentator, but not
I was
as an
horribly
award
ill.
winner.
Horribly ill.
Really?
Yep. And I had a piece of memorabilia that I had them sign. That was a Mickey Mantle signed baseball or a baseball glove, something. And
Hold on, you had a Mickey Mantle signed baseball
did.
glove, and you said I should add Phil Simms to this.
and I totally ruined it.
I think you ruined it with the Phil Simms signature.
We've heard a lot of first world problems on this show.
Yeah.
But the child who has just finished his prime rib and his chocolate mousse while getting Phil Simms and the Olympian to sign his Mickey Mantle memorabilia. I'm sorry, I'm not going to cry a tear for you.
I think Phil Simms is a confident guy, but even Phil Simms is like, wait, are you sure?
I'm going to ruin this.
Yeah.
Did he sign it Mickey Mantle also just to save you from yourself?
No, he didn't. He had that was pretty bad.
Oof. He's like, don't you have a napkin, kid?
Now I'm piecing all of this together. It does work pretty backwards. Don't worry about getting pulled over by the cops. Just give them your phone with a picture of your license on it.
Yeah,
that'll work out fine.
Apparently.
Since we're talking about it.
Once you have your name, he's like, oh, I just saw. You're Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for this segment. We're going to be back with our special guest. Hang out. We'll be back.
Bah.
Have you ever stepped on a Lego with your bare feet?
Oh, I have. I think anybody who's had a kid's done that.
It gives you kind of a rush, right?
Oh, yeah. It's like, I think it's a form almost of acupuncture.
No.
It's kind of a good feeling, right?
No.
It helps you feel alive.
I'll tell you, when I've never felt as alive as I did when I had little kids running around the house, Legos everywhere. You go to get the door or let the dog out, bang, 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 you are alive. It's like caffeine, but 20 times.
Our new sponsor, randomlegomat.com, will get you an entryway mat with random Legos, and you just take your shoes off before you come in the house and wipe your feet off on that random Lego mat from randomlegomat.com.
You ever feeling stressed out, ever long day, you just come home, what do you want to do?
You want to step on a Lego.
Step on some Legos. You know why?
Because you need to feel...
Yeah, acupuncture. That's what it is. These Legos actually hit pain points throughout your foot that will make you forget about how bad your day was and how much you do not want to come home. randomlego.com.
randomlegomat.com.
Don't forget to cough into the mic, sheeper. No. Hey, sheep, you better get out there and get yourself one of them random things so your feet don't get hurt and stuff.
Not a real product.
Not a real product. All right, welcoming now into the podcast. This is Hans Appen.
Welcome, Hans.
How's it going, Hans?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, doing well.
All right, appreciate you joining us. And we've had a pretty good little episode so far. We actually had an interesting conversation related to traveling to pick up food that's like special food for a holiday. Adam took an adventure up to the Highlands to go get a pie.
Yeah, my wife sent me 3 hours to get a pie that she liked for Thanksgiving. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, go get it. It's really good apple pie. I was like, well, it's a pretty good pie, and I could use a try. Pie. Yeah.
Well, it's a great pie, and the trip was complicated by the fact that he got a speeding ticket on his return.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Yeah.
Well, the pie's going to get cold.
Well,
you got to get it home.
And the police officer wouldn't take pie as a bribe. Like I tried to slip a pie between my wallet and the ID, and it didn't work out.
As Adam's lawyer, I'd like to add in allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Could you imagine actually putting the pie on top of your license and registration?
Be like, hey, all I'm handing you is my license and registration. I don't know what that box is.
I have no idea what's in that box.
But go ahead and open it up and smell it because it's pretty heavenly.
It's pretty awesome.
My license is inside the pie.
So here's our first question for you, okay? And we ask the same question, same 3 questions of all of our guests. And for those who have asked, we don't actually do any guest prep of what these 3 questions are going to be, even though they are the same questions. And sadly, what we are learning is most of our guests don't listen to the podcast. Because if you listened at all, you would know exactly what the 3 questions.
Right. Luckily, though, none of our guests listen to our show, so it's not a problem.
No, and which is an unusual kind of guest prep. Hi, we'd like you to be a guest of the show. Are you familiar at all with this podcast or what we do with our guests?
Oh, you aren't? Then you're our guy.
Perfect.
Perfect.
When are you available?
You've heard our podcast. We're going to pass.
We're going to have to. That's going to be a hard no.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 1 for you. What is on your business card?
On my business card, my company's logo, my name, my title, email, phone number.
What's that title?
Publisher.
Ooh. All right. And what does that entail as publisher? What does that encompass?
Like my job duties?
Yeah.
Publisher means I kind of run the day-to-day of our company, Appen Media Group, oversee newsroom, production, and our sales team. I'm kind of the one-man shop, HR, janitorial, lunch pickup and delivery, you name it.
You know, when I was in college, to get in-state tuition, you had to meet certain criteria, and one of them was owning a business, and there may have been formed a company called Hernan Publishing, and I may have had a business card that said publisher, but I think yours is probably a little bit more legit than that one.
Is that
Did you have a website?
That is a true story that occurred outside the statute of limitations, so I'm happy to talk about it here.
Occurred out of state, occurred out of statute of limitations.
Right.
All of that. All right. So talk about, what does that mean? What publisher now in a digital environment, is that something that people can hold? Does it mean that it's driven by
digital
screen?
content? Yeah.
I don't think you can hold digital content.
Yeah, you can hold digital content on your phone, Johnny the Obvious.
Yeah, I think it probably means, different things for different media organizations. Prior to my holding the title, my dad held the title of publisher from 1989 to 2015, I believe, when I took over the role.
Okay.
So for us, it really just means kind of, where the buck stops, where the decisions are made, and it is a blessing and a curse, I guess, for anybody running a business to be the head honcho. But for us, it's you could equate it to like a general manager for our company.
But are you still excited by like the creation of story? Like, what's the magic that kind of fires you up?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I love what we do every single day. I love going to work. I like to tell folks that, we are creating something new every week. So we're a weekly newspaper group. We focus on a lot of local content, school, crime, sports, government, you name it. If it's in your local community, we're probably covering it. But it's something new every week. And in the ever-changing world of media, we got to stay on our toes and figure out new and creative ways to evolve our company and make money and have fun and do the news all at the same time. So I love it. We do new stuff all the time.
Of the local cities that you cover, which one is your favorite? No, I'm just kidding. Don't answer that.
Do answer that. That's a great question.
The local schools that we cover?
No, the communities.
Cities.
What's the favorite city? Is there a city where you're like, I know my crime stories are coming out of here?
Alpharetta's going to give you some good juice.
The crime stories. I get in trouble if I tell you where all the crime stories are coming out of. But no, I'm from Alpharetta, so Alpharetta's probably my favorite community to cover. I still live in Alpharetta, go to church in Alpharetta, kids go to school in Alpharetta, so it's probably my favorite beat that we cover.
All right, so here's question number 2. Actually, before I go to question number 2, I have a question for you, Adam.
Go ahead.
When you were in high school, did you ever write for your school newspaper?
I did.
Jamie, did you ever write for your school newspaper?
Not in high school.
You did in college, though, right?
I did publish a magazine in college.
Is that Bendo Publishing?
No, Bendo Publishing would be that'd be the other Jamie.
Oh, okay.
Actually, Oasis magazine. Look it up. You'll never find it.
And it was an underground publication of some sort?
There was two copies published, nationally syndicated articles, and it was not really worth talking about here. But
hey, Hans, I have to tell you, because we haven't really talked about it thus far in this particular podcast, but one of the members of this podcast was notorious for fake press passes as an effort to try to get into events.
Yeah,
as media.
And it's not the guy named Adam, and it's not the guy accusing the other, so we can kind of narrow it down.
I'm open about that. We're outside the statute of limitations. I got all kinds of good stories.
You and your statute of limitations, yeah.
Can you, now as an actual experienced media professional, can you tell somebody running I'm not really part of the media scam?
I
Like, say, somebody who's 19 and in college, just wanting to meet the band.
Yeah, that they just want to find a way to get in with a press pass.
It's tough these days because, I mean, there's a lot of question and ambiguity behind what the media actually is. What is the definition of the media? So anybody in their basement or the college dorm room, in your case, I guess, could create a quasi-media organization and the press pass for themselves. So that's a tough one.
Thank you.
Okay, but hold on a second. And I don't want to, because we have two other questions to go, and I don't want to get this off the rails. But I actually, so I think that there are positives that come from the fact that the playing field has been leveled in terms of access to audience. People can find an audience, right? But I would draw a distinction that with what you're talking about doing on a day-to-day basis in your workplace isn't necessarily outcome-oriented. You're just taking the world as it's presented to you, not trying to create the world in which your readers live.
That's right.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when somebody opens up our newspaper every week, they'll see the crime blotter on page 2. We've got city council on page 4 and features on page 7. I mean, we cover a beat and it's different every single week. So, folks, our readers and the people who go to our newspapers are, just looking to get a gauge for what's going on in the community, not necessarily what we think should be going on in the community. So, yeah, I'd say there's some truth to that.
Okay. All right. So question number 2. Are you familiar with the concept of a meat and 3 restaurant?
I am not.
Okay.
Jamie's convinced that everyone knows a meat and 3. I completely objected to this idea.
Okay.
But once he explains it, you'll know what he's talking about.
So a meat and 3 it's like maybe a cafeteria style restaurant, not quite a diner. It's a place where you go in, you get to select a meat, and then you get to select 3 sides. Okay, meat and 3.
So it's like, do I want chicken with my corn? Yeah,
my mac and cheese, or my fried okra, or the mashed potatoes, or whatever it is. Okay.
They usually say meat and 3 vegetables, but it's almost always, and we don't have to get into whether starches or vegetables, but it's a meat and a bunch of starches.
Okay.
Meat and starches does not work for the concept of the question.
It actually kills it.
Yeah, it kind of makes it worse. All right, so so here's my question: the plate that is your life. What is the meat? What is the concept, the idea, the philosophy around which you base your life, your day to day?
My kids.
Okay.
My kids. Yep.
That's kind of the organizing principle.
So it's about raising good kids, or tell us a little bit more about that.
Flesh that out a bit.
Like how, what is it? What's important about your kids, and what are you trying to do in your education or raising of your kids?
I think it's instilling, values that I think are redeemable in them, and explaining to them why they're important, and why they should think they're important. Honesty, hard work, loyalty. Anything and everything they do. So whether it's little things that like buddies at school and how they treat their friends and their teachers, the importance of faith in their life, the importance of doing stuff around the house to contribute. I think those sorts of things. Raising a little boy that any father of a daughter would be proud to have as a son-in-law, and raising 2 little girls that any mom of a little boy would be happy to call a daughter-in-law.
All right. So then that leads me to the next part of it, which is the 3, or what would be the attributes, what the characteristics that you would like other people to most closely identify with you?
With me?
For example, if we asked your kids,
kind of the same I want to instill in my kids, right? or at least I like to think that. Honesty, hard work, and loyalty.
Honesty, hard work, and loyalty.
That's good.
Those are good.
I think so.
No, that's great. So and how old are your kids?
My kids are 6, 3, and 1.
Oh my goodness, that's such a fun age. I mean, except for the 1 and the 3, like that's still a lot of work, but that's a really great age for kids.
Did you just say that's such a fun age, but only one of the kids?
Well, no, I mean my point is that he's entering in a really fun period in fathering, and being a parent.
I have a side question relative to your children. Are there any jobs that as a dad you don't like to do related to your children?
Any jobs?
Job tasks that are kid tasks.
Responsibilities. Discipline's a tough one for me.
Is your wife the disciplinarian in the house?
I think we kind of we avoid it, and it's sort of like last one in the room has to do it.
Actually, that would be awesome if you adopted a parenting style where it was the touch the side of your nose.
Yeah.
To be like, do you understand they're lying? Do you understand that they are not telling the truth?
So the child just lied to us.
Child just lied to us. Oh, you touched your nose last.
You're going to discipline him for this. The child clearly just stole from us.
Yeah,
You're going to deal with this.
I love the idea of watching the two parents race out of the room.
Yeah. It says, like, oh, they're hitting each other. I got to go.
Chivalry is dead.
Yeah. Do you smell something burning? I think they set the fridge on fire.
Last woman said, someone hits the doorway and it's like, no, okay, you stop hitting your brother. You stop taunting your brother.
I think your kids would act up just to see that happen repeatedly.
Right, to watch the parents race.
If you guys would just wait till your dad gets back in the room. I don't, it's funny because I was not a big fan of the discipline thing myself either.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I was not a big fan of the
you're the good guy, Dad.
I'm always good cop.
Yeah, you are a good cop.
I am actually both good cop and bad cop. I take on all cop roles.
Okay.
I'm
so you're crazy cop. You don't know what you're getting.
I am like Mel Gibson, Lethal Weapon 1. You have no idea to be like,
what you're gonna get.
Did Dad just dislocate his shoulder on the door frame to tell me that I'm supposed to be home at 11? Right.
I'm cool with you staying out late. You're not home. Where are you?
All right, so here's our last question. Last question related to this. And it kind of relates to the answers to the first two questions. Give us a dad brag. This is an opportunity to just pick something you want to highlight without fear or favor. What is something that you just want to just take a moment of personal privilege and just straight up brag on your kids?
Yeah, something your kids have done that you're just particularly proud of.
Oh gosh. Well, I'll tell you the one that I was just doing that I just left was reading Harry Potter, the second Harry Potter to my oldest.
Wow.
And we started the first one about a week and a half ago.
Oh my
goodness. We got
goodness.
through it and finished it. I was thinking that thing would last me about 6 months, but she is just obsessed with Harry Potter and reading, and she's got just this crazy vivid imagination and just loves it. And I love that about her because I'm surprise, as a newspaper guy, I'm not a big TV fan in the house,
sure.
Especially with my kids. I think it's just rots kids' brains. So we really encourage reading, and they love everything about it. But she is really picking up learning how to read really well, and which just delights me. And my 3-year-old is starting to see some of what she's doing and has an interest, and definitely wants to, but we're a ways away. And I think if I can get my kids reading and just having a love and a passion for books, nothing would make me happier. And it seems like we're on that track at this moment.
That's awesome. That is good. And so I'm interested, like the Harry Potter, that sounds, you killed that pretty quick. I would think you were more along like the 6 month, like I go into that, I would think this. So how much time commitment were you actually given to the reading over the last couple days?
I mean, we were doing. I assumed we would be doing, a couple pages every night, but she will not let me get out of her room without doing a chapter at least.
Oh wow!
And one thing I love about it too is that she is absorbing everything. If I read a word that she doesn't know, she will not let me move past until she understands what that word means.
Oh, that's impressive.
Which I just love. Yeah.
We need to do a follow-up episode in about about 12 years. I want to hear the reading score of your child.
Yeah, the SAT just flew through the roof. She's already looking for definitions of words, but
I was going to say we need to do a follow-up episode in like 3 weeks when she's done with the series.
Right? At this rate.
Yeah. You know that I have never read a Harry Potter book? Nor have any of my children.
Really?
Never seen a Harry Potter movie.
Oh, you're so weird.
I'm jealous.
You're so weird.
Yeah, it just fell in a weird
category.
It just didn't when they were popular, they were too young and then they never got it.
But see, now he's going to get curious and he's going to start reading it. We're not going to hear from him for 6 weeks.
Locked down.
No, I'd watch the movies. Actually, I'd just look them up on Wikipedia.
Okay.
I'd read the synopsis on Wikipedia.
It's a pretty fun story.
Yeah,
Hans, I can buy into the TV rotting the kids' brains, but there's some really good cooking shows on Food Network. I just want to point that out.
Hey, if they're going to watch TV, cooking shows would be just fine with me.
There you go. All right. Well, we appreciate the time you took to join us here on the podcast. So if people were looking to find the content that you create related to your business card, where would they do that?
Probably the best place to go is our website is northfulton.com. That's kind of our hub for all of our news websites and sort of all the other side projects we can do. You can find from northfulton.com.
Awesome.
I'm going to give you a little insight behind the curtain too on the Milton football team. The coach there would really like to have his team on a cover for a football preview. He's gotten. He feels like he feels like there's been some Roswell, Alpharetta, and Cambridge love, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, it's a much bigger deal than it probably should be for him. But he gets a little bit more chapped and wants to destroy the team you put on the cover.
Wait, I'll give you a funny tidbit on that. Then it's one of those you can't keep it, everybody happy.
Yeah.
I had a call yesterday from a Cambridge mom who said the exact opposite about the Milton team.
Oh, way too much Milton?
Way too much Milton.
That's pretty
where's
funny.
Where's all the Cambridge sports news?
Oh, that's great.
Can't make them happy.
No, I'm a Milton alum, so I can probably make that one happen.
Okay, awesome.
Pulling strings where it counts.
Tell him Adam sent you.
Thanks, Hans.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you.
All right, there's Hans Appen Media Group, trying to figure out the local publishing.
It's interesting, and I think there's still. I really like that place for publishing. Still, I think that the local content is something that people still really enjoy. Having a paper or a newspaper to do.
Well, and it's really actually where you plug into your local community. I mean,
That's
the
right.
fact of the matter is that a lot of national media stuff has kind of been gutted, and they don't have the resources to cover local communities anymore. So
That's right.
So that local paper is an important resource. I think my new project is to get them back and get them committed to join in the flock.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think that people respect the local paper enough, because they don't. If it was gone, they'd really notice. Because having that link to the local sports news, the
Local festivals, the local business advertisers,
crime blotter, all of that.
Yeah, the local goings on the local government level and whatnot. So
it's important.
So, Sheep, listen, you have a local paper wherever you are. I'm encouraging you to support it. Take a little bit of extra time and make sure you get hip to what's going on in your own backyard.
Pick it up, take a look, support a business.
All right, we're going to be right back. We have a comic that's going to join us. We're going to go under the hood. We got Broken Bits coming up. Don't wander away too far. We'll send the dogs. Taka Sheep. We'll be right back. I have a new internet provider.
What's it called?
Gives me unlimited information.
I heard about these guys, but
It's called Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi.
Okay, and how does that work?
Your wife has all the answers.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
You just ask her, and she will give you the answer.
You know, that's funny because I just saw a thing on Wi-Fi on the Today Show, and they actually said it's given rise to healthier, happier relationships, and the divorce rate among people who have Wi-Fi is almost zero.
It does not necessarily work in every room in your house.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't.
There are some rooms where it's unlimited uploads.
I've heard if the wife always just gives you the answers and that's the correct one, then you're good to go.
Is it always accurate?
Infrequently accurate.
How do I get Wi-Fi?
Just ask your wife. Comes preloaded.
By the way, does the code BHHcast work with your wife?
It does.
What does it get you?
Not as much off as you'd like. Not available with Life 2.0 or 3.0 or 4.0 or 5.0. Only works one time.
Not a robot.
Sheep, you better go down, and if you have a wife, you better get a Wi-Fi because she's got the answers and stuff.
All right, welcome back, sheep. Gather the rest of the flock around. Is time for one of our favorite segments here on the BHHcast. We have a special comic guest. Actually, that's kind of crossing the streams. Actually, comic guests are never special. Special guests are never comics.
That's right. They like to stay
Let's
completely
keep it straight.
separate camps.
We need to kind of...
Because honestly, let's not confuse the sheep.
We do not need to be adding new concepts.
Yeah. So good news, sheep. This one's gonna be fun.
Regular comic guests.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. This is regular comic guests. Don't like think, did I fast forward too far? Did I pick up a weird spot in the episode? Jamie, you were going to say?
We did have a special guest one time that is also a comic.
But they were referred to as the special guest.
You stay
Right,
in
but I just want to say that we, as a podcast, do agree that he is a comic.
Okay, I'm not saying that special guests cannot be comics. I'm just saying stay in your lane.
And I also think that most comics you could describe as special.
And most special I could describe as some comic. Well, that's probably not true, actually.
We should get back to the guest, who we haven't really finished introducing.
Ooh, that's a good
point. Would be
point.
beneficial. They're just awkwardly laughing on the phone, waiting when we're going to get to them.
Well, I mean, this is the most special I've ever felt, to be honest.
Yeah, we haven't introduced you yet. Don't start talking. You haven't actually been technically introduced. We're going to have to edit that portion out. We keep a very tight ship over here. All right, so we are joined by comedian extraordinaire, Mr. Jerry Rocha.
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, hello. Thanks for having me.
Jerry, don't you think extraordinaire is on par with special? Didn't you? I think you just said special in a different way.
I think I just shot past special with extraordinary.
Yeah, you really did. His Excellency.
Yeah,
Excellency.
I'm beyond graduated.
Congratulations, sir.
Be honorable.
Actually, you know what? I have been doing comedy for over 20 years now.
Oh,
and I have been asked,
oh, here comes the brag.
What do you want me to say about you, right? That's the question that comedians get all the time, right?
Yeah.
What do you want me to say? How do you want me to introduce you? I think I'm going to start saying His Excellency.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Jamie Vendel.
I've been reading this book about George Washington. I love, he refers to everybody as His Excellency. Like His Excellency Thomas Jefferson, His Excellency.
I think
like you gotta. It was good enough for the father of our country. It's good enough for us.
Let's start.
But also, what a way for him to just mail in, not giving a shit about who he was talking to. Right?
That's right. Exactly.
I'm going to give you one thing, and I don't care. You're going to be Excellency, and that's it.
Yeah, doesn't make you important, pal. It's just you're just Excellency.
I'm bringing Excellency back.
Matter.
Yeah, I think I'm going to refer to. This is my friend, His Excellency.
You got to sign off all your letters to as "It is my honor to be your humble servant."
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Rather than saying like sincerely, it's always "It is my honor to be your humble servant."
I think that's a creation of Lin-Manuel Miranda.
No, it's not.
I don't
they actually have the letters.
No, they didn't. He created.
So you're saying George Washington?
You're telling me the guy that came up with Moana
That's funny.
also
I thought we
figured
had a guest
out.
Right now.
We do have a guest.
Can we talk to
When
him?
I saw Hamilton, the first thought was, how do they know any of this shit, really? You know, and then of course you just forget about history books. But still, in the moment, I'm like, they don't know how any of this shit really went down, do they?
Totally. And you got to ask Lin-Manuel. You're like, come on, you know that didn't happen. It was not that exciting.
How far
it was
apart,
not that cool.
What is the gap that you can do? So first of all, I'm a big Broadway buff. I will own the fact that I love a good musical.
Okay.
Political musicals are my favorite.
Okay.
I'm not a.
Is Hamilton a political musical?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize.
Wait a minute, how many political ones are there?
You got Evita, you got Les Mis.
Is Book of Mormon a political?
The big one.
Yeah, you got your big ones.
Miss Saigon.
Miss Saigon.
Okay, I get where you're going.
Yeah, those are the best.
So political's really the best.
Don't give me Hello Dolly. I don't even know if
Nobody
that's a
wants
musical.
Guys and Dolls. No one wants.
You don't want Book of Mormon?
Book of Mormon is good.
Yeah, that's political?
But it wasn't really political.
No, I wouldn't
I'm
say at
talking
all.
about
Yeah.
actual political.
Yeah,
content.
those are the powerhouses.
Yeah.
How many times do you think Lin-Manuel Miranda fudged the facts because he had a really good rhyme?
Oh, totally.
He has skewed
How do you not?
the understanding of American history because he had to get the rhyme.
Listen, I'm not going to tell you, but I read a lot of underground Broadway Twitter, and
I didn't know that
The
existed.
dark Broadway web.
it does.
Dark Broadway web.
Yeah, it's and there's many people who are very, very adamant about the fact that John Adams does not have a bigger role, primarily because it's hard to rhyme with Adam.
Okay. I could see that.
wow.
I could see that.
Yeah. Otherwise,
But then he could have had a bit with it and like just made up words and put ams at the end, like Sadams, John Adams, Leslie Sadams, like shit like that. Like I don't know.
No.
I think he missed a golden opportunity to just make up words.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
It could have been a running bit for the whole show. And,
Totally
you know,
could have
just
been.
like how the Evil King was like the comic relief. Then at the end of his things, he has to rhyme John Adams.
John Adams. Yeah.
And he just keeps saying, I can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It always busts the rhyme.
I would the challenge with the conversation that we're having is that none of us have ever been nominated for a Tony Award. And
Hold on a second.
Very
Hold on a second. You don't know this about
wow.
me, but I have actually never been nominated for a Tony Award. But you don't know that about me. You just,
it
you
was
made
a reasonable
assumptions
guess.
there.
It was
Yeah,
a
you made
safe
some
guess.
assumptions. I'm interested more in your dark underground Broadway news. So I've been like on the Tor browser and found, the Silk Road, but there's a Broadway also available.
yeah.
Yeah, where you just get all the dirty stuff.
Yeah, all the
This is
backstage
dark web
drama.
Broadway?
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
they call it the curtain fall web,
Ooh.
right? So it's everything that takes place
Yeah. Behind the curtain.
behind.
The only thing I remember when I lived in New York City was all the Broadway people were shitting on what's her face or Married with Children. Christina Applegate had a version of Sweet Charity,
Oh.
and everyone was just
hated it.
like, you should have seen the Broadway purists. Like, it's a vanity project. Don't waste your time. This is disgusting. Like, it was, they destroyed
I like that when the Broadway purists freak out. Like, wasn't there a
Yeah, oh, they
Spider-Man
were,
thing that came out a little while ago? Wasn't there?
Never made it. I don't
No.
even think. I think it opened
Never made
and
it out.
closed.
But it was like
Yeah.
$1 zillion or something like
Cost
that.
of- well, who wants to see Spider-Man the musical?
Oh, but
I mean,
well, the
it's-
same people who
did
watch
the music for it?
You two did do the music for it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they had a lot of shit behind that.
Imagine
Yeah.
how expensive that was. Yeah.
To get Bono to go write to get Bono to quit hugging George Bush for a selfie and go write that must have been, imagine.
Imagine. We're talking brown bags of money.
Well,
Money.
brown bags of money. Yeah. I would like set design just to fling Spider-Man all around the theater.
Right?
That's so funny. We started this
I
with.
think we missed it. Jamie, let's redo it. Let's fuck it. Let's go do it. Let's make it happen.
Which, by the way, is how you get in trouble on Broadway, is you assume the other people just did it wrong.
Yeah.
Not that it was a poor idea.
No, not that it was a bust.
Right.
They just did it wrong. Reset. Spider-Man. Let's go Hulk on Broadway.
They picked the wrong guy.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly you don't build a musical.
Hulk
around
smash!
Spider-Man, right? Yeah. You can't have a
Dude,
big...
I feel like SpongeBob SquarePants may be evidence that Broadway has sold out.
Oh.
wow. Shots fired. Man.
I don't know.
Patrick, SpongeBob, you're not a fan?
That's where we
But
draw
isn't
the line.
whole point? Isn't the whole point of Broadway to sell out?
Ah, I like that.
I think it's escapism.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you? They want to sell tickets, don't they?
And living in
Like,
a
I think you're
pineapple
calling-
under the sea, like there's no better escapism than that.
That's
I
true.
really felt like it was a safe place to go after SpongeBob SquarePants, but I feel like I've touched a nerve
You were
here.
wrong. You were
Yeah.
wrong, my friend. Go after Lion King.
Tentpole. Yeah,
I
right.
followed you guys trashing Spider-Man,
Easily trashed.
and
Just relax.
I don't
buddy.
actually think Spider-Man was necessarily trashed. I think that's a mischaracterization of what we were talking about.
We were just talking about it
Spider-Man.
didn't open.
It was just a poorly
It
executed
couldn't have
idea.
got trashed. It never had a chance.
let's go to the court reporter.
Probably
Read that
worse
back.
than trash.
Yeah, read the transcript back. All right, so Jerry, here's what we let's start with our questions that we ask of all guests here on the podcast. First question is, what does it say on your business card?
I don't have one. When I had one, it said, "I'm giving you this because you told me I was funny." That's the only one I ever had.
That's a great business card.
Yeah, I'm giving you this because you told me I was funny. So here.
Very funny. So that's the comedian business card.
Yeah, that was written on mine.
I love that.
All right, and but you would characterize yourself at this point as full-time comic.
Oh yeah. All
right, you have a podcast,
a YouTube channel, and I go on Twitch every night like a nerd.
Are you a Twitcher?
Whoa! You go on Twitch?
Oh yeah, I play retro video games every night except Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Pacific.
Oh, I gotta explore this a little bit. So
you gotta watch, man. Retro Rocha, ROCHA.
And so, what games are you playing?
Right now, last night I beat Mortal Kombat 2. I got the shit kicked out of me, but then one of my viewers lovingly gave me a cheat code that made my attacks like twice as powerful and jacked my character's defense up. So I just ran through the game, and that was fun. And tonight I'll be doing the Super Nintendo classic Aladdin, based on the Disney movie.
All right, I have a request.
Are you playing on a computer, or are you playing like is it me?
No, so it's not emulated. Like my girlfriend 2 Christmases ago got me this thing called the Analog Super NT, and it is a system that plays Super Nintendo games, but it beefs it up so the graphics look normal on a modern television and not like blurry and weird. So I just have that hooked up to a capture card.
And it's you playing on this, being funny while you play.
I try to be.
That is so great. I'm going to be watching. I honestly, you will be my first Twitch content provider.
Oh, I'm honored. Look at this.
I've seen.
Great.
Yeah, I'm just getting the understanding of the platform. But yeah, that's great. I love your idea.
Thank you.
Where do you fall?
There's nothing to understand though. There's a woman. I mean, there are chicks on Twitch who just set up a camera over their bed and they just go to sleep you just watch them sleep, and perverts just donate money.
I tried that, but I couldn't really monetize it.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
It'll happen.
Are you telling me I could create a Twitch that's just based around me sleeping?
I'm not sure you could.
No.
Jamie, I would pay so much money to watch you sleep. Are you kidding?
If there's somebody who could
donations 24/7.
Yes, I'm in.
All right, so where do you fall? Lover or hater? The 1982 classic E.T., the extraterrestrial Atari game.
Lover, because I didn't know how bad it was when I was a kid. I was 4 or 5 when it came out, and my older cousin had it, and he would let me play it, and I was in love with the movie, and I was so excited, and it just never dawned on me that it was horrifically bad. You know what I mean? Like, I would only play it for like 20 minutes, and I thought, man, I guess I have to just really practice to get him out of this fucking cave. Right. But I thought, like, man, like, I thought it looked amazing. I'm like, it looks just like E.T., you know? So at 5, I was mesmerized. So my only experience with the game was like one evening when I was visiting my cousin who had it, and he let me play it, and that was it. And so I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So yeah, I was not like, I was one of the dumb kids who just, they're not going to give a shit, you know, like that was me back then.
I like the idea of you being on Twitch for like days in a row without eating or sleeping, because you're still just trying to figure out how to get out of the
game. Back and forth in the pit. Going back and forth in the pit.
Right. Oh man, but yeah, now of course you like, oh, this game's terrible, but yeah, like that, I just never realized.
I want to talk to this guy all night. No 3 questions.
We got to do the other questions. Yeah. We can come back to the other.
I
we got to come back to the other questions. You got to go to the other questions.
Okay, fine.
All right, so the second question we ask of our guests is: you're familiar with the concept of a meat and 3 restaurant?
A meat and 3? No,
okay.
What is it?
This is the best. No one's ever familiar with a meat and 3. Like, Jamie has this idea that everyone knows what this thing is, and no one ever knows.
Jamie, I've never heard of it.
Yes, exactly. No one ever knows.
Jamie always introduces this question, and every time he says, So you are familiar with the meat and three, and every time we get the same response, which is
No.
Long pause.
No. Long pause.
Followed by I'm actually not, familiar with it.
All right, but you are once I explain to you what it is. A meat and three is like a cafeteria style restaurant where you get your plate, you get a meat, and then you get 3 sides with it.
So it's like I'll get
like
chicken.
a Luby's or a furs. Luby's or furs, that kind of shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So in the plate that is your life, okay, what is the meat? What is the organizing principle, the philosophy, the theory around which you organize your life?
Oh, man. Just try to not be a douchebag. That's start. That's my starting point. Let's build everything around. Try to not be a dickhead.
Is that like a daily struggle?
Try to not be an asshole.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable though. Like, yeah, it is a daily struggle. I think everyone has that daily struggle.
Because you're always going to run into somebody who says something that drives you up a wall, or you see somebody tweet some shit that you're like, well, how could you think this? But you're like, all right, you know what? Like, let them be the asshole.
Yep.
I'm just gonna, I'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like,
and if you're not having the daily struggle, you probably are the jerk.
You're an asshole,
right?
You
You
don't
probably
care.
actually are the jerk.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so
I like that.
Then the other part of that is, what is your 3? What are the 3 attributes that you would like people to identify most closely with you?
People you care about, what would they identify as attributes what do you want them to identify as attributes you have?
I got you. Loyal, funny. Loyal and funny are the big ones. I definitely want to make sure that if you're in my circle, I'd take a bullet for you, that kind of thing. Funny, always try to, make you feel better, that kind of shit. And man, I guess loyal, funny, and giving. Yeah, I'm always the type of person who's always trying to find, I bet my buddy so-and-so would like this, or I bet my girlfriend would like this. I always get her shit, even though it's not her birthday. You know what I mean? Like, no special occasion. Like, oh, you took a colon cleanse. All right, well, here's some flowers. Just, things like that.
I want to be in your inner circle.
Come on in, man.
No, it's true. Like, Jamie before the podcast. Like, we haven't met. This is Adam, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be best friends.
Of
like,
course,
just based on what I've heard so far, I'm pretty sure we're going to be best buddies.
And it's hard for me to like loyalty, and this is something that Jamie probably deals with all the time. I'm not just saying this because I'm on the phone with Jamie, but if any comedy club in Atlanta not named The Punchline wants to book me, I'm going to politely say no. You know what I mean? Because Jamie's club, they were one of the first clubs that ever headlined me. I mean, I started literally as, I think I came in and emceed for you once. Like, it was. And so I was like, this is home. Like, every time I'm in that club, I'm like, I just feel like I'm home. So yeah, that's how it is. Like, it's just, I don't like if any club in Atlanta were to be like, hey, would you like to come? I'm like, nah, I'm good. Thank you. I mean, for good luck to you guys. I appreciate it, but no, I'm good.
I have a huge request. Please block Adam when he gets on
this is going to be so great. I'm trying to figure out Twitch right now on my phone. Like, how do I get it?
Just block him and then unblock him and then block him.
All right, so question 3. I think you may be the first guest that we've had that's kind of it may be inapplicable to.
Oh.
Because so we may have to modify it a little bit while we're on the fly with you here in the asking of the question.
Uncle?
Do you have pets?
Yeah.
Okay, what are we talking the pet?
Well, so here's the question. The question 3 is dad brag, right?
Oh, yeah, I couldn't do that. Yeah. Not yet, at least.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
If you had a child, how awesome would your child be?
Crazy awesome.
They'd be the coolest that kid would be.
Amazing.
I want to create the ultimate, male, female, I want to create the ultimate jock nerd. That's what I want my kid to know everything there is to know about sports and the X-Men. That's my goal.
Nice.
Like, that would be my ultimate goal.
Then I'm going to encourage you to have more than one child.
All right.
Because that's an experiment that may not go right the first time.
No, you got to try that.
True.
That's why people have more than one child.
You still have to love
first
the
one's
first
kind of a loss.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness. Oh, by the way, Jamie, speaking of sports, I just remembered that the last time I did a podcast with you, you were safe. A comic, I forgot who it was, but was adamant that Melo could win a title, and you were like, "Nope, you put money on the table. I will give you this if Carmelo Anthony wins a ring."
I guaranteed them a week headlining the Punchline.
Headlining week, yep.
And I said, "You will never headline
Still
the
not been a
Punchline
problem
because he is never winning."
He's never going to do it.
Yeah.
And okay, does it count if he? Like, I know he's just poor. I think he's with the Blazers. But like, let's say he gets traded to the Lakers mid-season, and he plays 4 minutes a game, and the Lakers win it again. That doesn't count, right?
I am telling you that if he is on the roster, that team is not winning.
I think that's fair.
There it is.
Yeah, even if
he could be signed 3-3 going into Game 7, that team is guaranteed to lose. He could be signed in the fourth quarter. The team that signs him could be up by 20. They are losing.
He walks out, sits down on the bench, and all the fans just cry.
Oh my God, I can't believe we're losing this.
We were right there, and we just had to sign Carmelo.
Yeah.
It
had to happen.
This is kind of an awkward time to introduce our next guest. Please welcome Carmelo Anthony.
This is really weird. Yeah.
All right. So now here we go. This is our last little segment that we do with the comedians who are our guests. And I've talked about this a lot with people, and it's kind of what was a little bit of the genesis of how we came to it. It is the concept of the broken bit.
Oh.
Is there a bit that you have? There's a joke concept. There's an idea. It's something that you just can't quite get to work right. And you've never quite been able to figure it out. What would be an example of that for you?
God, that's a great question. Jamie, there's so many jokes that I keep all my old joke books, right? And I'll just open one up from 10 years ago. Go like, how did this not work? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I just keep trying. And like, there's a lot of them. I'm trying to think of a recent one. But yeah, there's definitely.
What's one that you love where you're like, God, I just.
This was so funny to me, but it just doesn't seem to work. Yeah, you get so mad that people don't get it.
God, that's a great. Give me a minute. Give me a second.
While you're thinking about that, I've got a stand-up comedian question for you, professional stand-up comedians. Do you ever have a joke that you think is so good that the audience doesn't get that you just tell again right on the spot?
A second time?
A second time. Like, you guys clearly did not get this. Here it comes again.
I haven't done that, but I have scolded them for not getting it. I've been like, how did you not see that, you know what I mean?
No, that's funny, people.
Yeah, I've definitely done that. Yeah, I've definitely been like, like, may he rest in peace, but I worked his club. I worked Jamie's club with him. Was a great member. One of my best friends ever was Mike DiStefano, a comedian who passed away. And he would, oh my God, we'd be in New York, and he would tell a joke, and if the crowd didn't laugh, he would just snap and be like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like,
that's great.
He goes, "Who are you to tell me what's funny?" He goes, "You people don't even have a funny friend to go hang out with tonight, so you have to come pay strangers to amuse you, and you're gonna have the balls to tell me what's funny or not funny." That. Like that, I always feel that every time I think. But man, there's of course. I'm blanking, but I'm trying to think. I will remember this. There are a lot of them where you just like, and my rule is like after 8 tries, I'm like, shit, I guess I just have to retire this. You know what I mean? And then I'll forget about it for like 2 years, and then I'll look through an old book. That's a great idea, and nothing. You know what I mean? It was nothing.
So have you ever? So I have a joke that was a classic fail.
Okay.
And I learned how to turn it into a successful joke, acknowledging how badly the joke fails.
Oh, that's good.
So I was able to kind of turn that part of it around.
Right.
So you get to the end of the joke and be like, yeah, no one ever laughs
Nobody
at that.
ever laughs at that.
Yeah, honestly, it's really funny.
But I remember, oh God, this is, I don't even know if I should say this.
Say it.
Oh, God, I remembered one.
Don't worry, no one's listening.
And nobody would, dude, it was, rightfully bombed. But I remember I tried this joke so many times, and it would always bomb. And it was just, and I said, look, as sad as it was, could you imagine the insufferable piece of shit John Benet Ramsey would be right now if she lived? Like, could you imagine just what a full of herself pile? You know what I mean? The reality show we'd have to be watching right now if she made it. And
that joke never worked?
Never. It would be like, it was like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was like, because we're pretty sure her dad killed her, right? Like, it's just the worst thing ever. And then what was funny was I saw a tweet like a week ago where someone, it was just like a political pundit, I think. It wasn't even a comedian, I don't think, said, imagine the Fox News show John Benet Ramsey would have right now. And I'm like, they figured it out. They did it. That's the way to go. I was just too mean. So you know what I mean? I was just
They backed it down.
They just
Paris Hilton.
A little.
It's Britney Spears combined, right?
Exactly.
Throw in some pageant, and there you have John Benet.
I have to tell you, what's interesting about that, Jerry, is when we ask people about these bits, we usually talk about the bit. We kind of have some fun around it. We sort of make it work. Yeah. I have to tell you, you bring up John Benet, and I'm like, you know what? I can't fix that.
I think that's pretty funny, actually. I like it. We both snickered when we heard it. I mean, at the end of the day, I think you just keep going. You build on the pageant thing and how you have other the other factors that play into it. You know, we have really horrible TV. There's some horrible people out there right now. Like, and give some examples. Like, this is horrible, that's horrible. But could you imagine what John Benet Ramsey would be? Have you met her mom? Have you seen her mom doing these interviews? I get it. She lost a daughter, but she is a horrible human being.
You think Tommy Lahren says some crazy shit? Yeah. All right, here, give John Benet a Twitter. Oh, give me one. Okay, imagine the shit John Benet would say.
Well, but she's lucky to be dead. She's lucky to be dead because everyone imagines this sweet little girl.
Wait a minute.
We have broken a bit further.
This bit has gotten way darker. So Jerry has introduced a bit that's taken everybody down in the process. This was an innocent conversation.
Okay, here it comes.
And all of a sudden, Adam's no,
she was because she's America's sweetheart at this point. But she'd be America's nightmare right now.
You don't know that. That's why the joke fails. I can tell you why the joke doesn't work.
Right, because you just didn't know. Can I tell you, though, I saw, speaking of a joke, like the weirdest night I've ever seen with comedy was Jamie knows this. I was born in Dallas. I started in Dallas. And I was doing a show at just a little showcase room in Dallas called The Back Door. And it's been there forever. It's just like a little, it's where comics in Dallas kind of get their start, most of them. And there was this comedian, and he went up, and we were at the bar, and a text came through. The bartender had one of those. Do you remember the pagers that would give you news events, like way before? And it would sports scores. And he looks at it, and he was a gay dude, so he started crying like instantly. And we're like, Danny, what's the matter, man? He goes, Princess Diana just died in a car crash. And I look over, and this comedian, who was a brilliant comedian named Neil Edwards, is just writing down jokes, like on a napkin. And he was next. And he goes up on stage, and he did 15 minutes all about Princess Diana dying in a car crash. And it's destroying with the comedian. And the audience, it's bombing because they're like, what is he talking about? And then finally, like after it's 6 minutes in, he goes, guys, it didn't happen. I'm just saying, what are the odds you're going to go home tonight and find out that Princess Diana died in a car crash? Like, there's no fucking way. And then that loosened him up, and he starts doing all these jokes about her blowing a guy in the car, and then the driver was trying to watch, and then he starts murdering with it. And I wish I could have seen the looks on the faces of that audience when they got home. You know what I mean? Like, it was, and in fact, the real bummer, and he felt like shit a little bit because of it, but one of the comedians had friends visiting, and they were British. They were from England. Oof. And they lived in London, and she had to go tell them as the show was ending. Like, as everyone's walking out, she sits them down, and they were just in hysterics. It was like, oh man, it was one of the wildest. It was that was
the Diana bit. Yeah, well, let's have a talk.
But
there's a touch of truth in all comedy.
Right.
Well, this one's real truth.
So, Jamie, is that too soon, or does that somehow go further than too soon? If you're making
before they find out about the event,
it's pre-soon. You're pre-soon.
Yeah. You're way pre-soon.
You're so pre-soon.
Yeah.
Right?
So pre-soon. It was like that, man. I wish I could have seen.
Well, but that's so what's interesting is you almost can't pull that off anymore because of the way technology is.
Right.
Like, so there's that window of time is forever gone.
It's gone because now someone from the audience will yell out, "Oh my God, Princess Anna just died in a car in the middle of a show." You know,
you'd have to be a comedian and a murderer. So you're planning a murder for later that night. You do your material,
you do your bit, then you murder the person.
I actually did work up a spec of a script about a serial killer who was a comedian.
Did he do jokes about people he was about to kill?
Well, because you're kind of anonymous. You show up in town. You're like.
Did the tagline say? He killed.
And he killed.
Well, I guess, Jamie, can I name names? But it wasn't, I mean, that was kind of a famous thing, that late 80s, early 90s comic.
It's all alleged.
Yeah,
alleged.
This is serving time?
This is, I don't know. This will never make the podcast. But I actually, I don't know if he's still in or not in.
Are we talking about Jamie? Did Jamie kill people? No. Can you tell me right now?
No, I haven't killed people.
No, there was a stand-up comic who
I was thinking of the idea of, in more medieval times, about the court jester who's going 2 towns ahead saying, like, I'm going to tell you some funny stuff about the invading Visigoths. It's not going to make sense, but it's going to be hilarious in like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. There's this one guy. Lights his hair on fire. Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Watch out for the Visigoths. It'd be like, who's the Visigoths?
Off the record, Jamie can tell you guys who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the John Benet Ramsey bit is actually not broken. I just think it's more of a 10:30 show joke than an 8 o'clock show joke.
Right. Late show. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
But I think it's the time for that joke may have come actually because we have enough distance from it. The only people who remembered are the 10:30 crowd at this point.
That's a good
Actually,
point.
That's not true. It's the opposite. The only people who remember are coming to the 8 o'clock show.
They
are not.
6 o'clock show.
It's a 10:30 joke for the 8 o'clock crowd.
For the 8 o'clock, the 8 o'clock crowd was dead.
Yeah.
Right. Jamie, that should be the title of a comics autobiography.
10:30 jokes for the 8 o'clock crowd. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Actually, maybe that's what we should rename the podcast. 10:30 jokes for the 8 o'clock crowd. Yeah.
There you go.
Baha. All right. Well, Jerry, we appreciate it. If people wanted to follow you online, what's the places and all the stuff that they should be doing?
You follow me on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/retro Rocha, and then just Jerry Rocha Comedy on Instagram and ROCHA Comedy on Twitter.
All right, Jerry, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us here on the BHHcast.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Nice meeting you, man.
Nice meeting you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, that was Jerry Rocha. Make sure you follow him. That's a great Twitch concept, by the way.
Oh, my gosh. I can't wait to watch it.
You sleeping?
No, the retro gaming, not Jamie sleeping.
He is totally blocking you.
All right, but that was Jerry. Make sure you do follow him if you're into retro gaming or if you're just into gaming generally.
Or funny people.
Or just funny people. He crushes every time he's on the stage. So if he's in a town near you, go see him.
Stay close, sheep.
Taka taka.